Chichen Itza was a major focal point in the northern Maya lowlands from the late Classic C, 8600 to 900 through the terminal Classic C, 8800 to 900 and into the early portion of the post-Classic period C, 8901 to 00. The site exhibits a multitude of architectural styles reminiscent of styles seen in central Mexico and of the Puc and Shaw's styles of the northern Maya lowlands. The presence of central Mexican styles was once thought to have been representative of direct migration or even conquest from central Mexico, but most contemporary interpretations view the presence of these non-Maya styles more as the result of cultural diffusion. Chichen Itza was one of the largest Maya cities, and it was likely to have been one of the mythical great cities, or Tolans, referred to in later Mesoamerican literature. The city may have had the most diverse population in the Maya world, a factor that could have contributed to the variety of architectural styles at the site. The ruins of Chichen Itza are federal property, and the site stewardship is maintained by Mexico's Instituto Nacional de Antropología y Historia National Institute of Anthropology and History. The land under the monuments had been privately owned until the 29th of March 2010, when it was purchased by the state of Yucatan. Chichen Itza is one of the most visited archaeological sites in Mexico, with over 2.6 million tourists in 2017. The Maya name Chichen Itza means at the mouth of the well of the Itza. This derives from chi, meaning mouth or edge, and chn or chen, meaning well. Itza is the name of an ethnic lineage group that gained political and economic dominance of the northern peninsula. One possible translation for Itza is enchanter or enchantment of the water, from its sorcerer, and water. The name is spelled Chichen Itza in Spanish, and the accents are sometimes maintained in other languages to show that both parts of the name are stressed on their final syllable. Other references prefer the modern Maya orthography, Chichen Itza pronounced Chichen Itza. This form preserves the phonemic distinction between ch and ch, since the base word chen, which, however, is not stressed in Maya, begins with a postalveolar ejective affricate consonant. Traditional Yucatec Maya spelling in Latin letters, used from the 16th through mid-20th century, spelled it as Chichen Itza, as accents on the last syllable are usual for the language. They are not indicated as they are in Spanish. The word Itza has a high tone on the A followed by a glottal stop indicated by the apostrophe. Evidence in the Chilam Balam books indicates another, earlier name for this city prior to the arrival of the Itza hegemony in northern Yucatan. While most sources agree the first word means 7, there is considerable debate as to the correct translation of the rest. This earlier name is difficult to define because of the absence of a single standard of orthography, but it is represented variously as Yukyabnal's 7 great house, Yukabnal's 7 bushy places, Abnal's 7 great rulers, or Abnal's 7 lines of Abnal. This name, dating to the late Classic period, is recorded both in the Book of Chilam Balam de Chamil and in hieroglyphic texts in the ruins. Chichen Itza is located in the eastern portion of Yucatan State in Mexico. The northern Yucatan Peninsula is karst, and the rivers in the interior all run underground. There are visible, natural sinkholes called cenotes that could have provided plentiful water year-round at Chichen, making it attractive for settlement. Of these cenotes, the Cenote Sagrado, or Sacred Cenote, also variously known as the Sacred Well or Well of Sacrifice, is the most famous. 11. In 2015, scientists determined that there is a hidden cenote under the temple of Kukulcán, which has never been seen by archaeologists. According to post-conquest sources, Maya and Spanish pre-Columbian Maya sacrificed objects and human beings into the cenote as a form of worship to the Maya rain god Chalk. Edward Herbert Thompson dredged the Cenote Sagrado from 1904 to 1910 and recovered artifacts of gold, jade, pottery, and incense, as well as human remains. A study of human remains taken from the Cenote Sagrado found that they had wounds consistent with human sacrifice. Several archaeologists in the late 1980s suggested that unlike previous Maya polities of the early Classic, Chichen Itza may not have been governed by an individual ruler or a single dynastic lineage. Instead, the city's political organization could have been structured by a multipale system, which is characterized as rulership through council composed of members of elite ruling lineages. This theory was popular in the 1990s, but in recent years, the research that supported the concept of the multipale system has been called into question, if not discredited. The current belief trend in Maya scholarship is toward the more traditional model of the Maya kingdoms of the Classic period's southern lowlands in Mexico. Chichen Itza was a major economic power in the northern Maya lowlands during its apogee, participating in the waterborne circumpeninsular trade route through its port site of Islas Cerritos on the north coast. Chichen Itza was able to obtain locally unavailable resources from distant areas such as obsidian from central Mexico and gold from southern Central America. Between 8900 and 1050, Chichen Itza expanded to become a powerful regional capital controlling north and central Yucatan. It established Islas Cerritos as a trading port. The layout of Chichen Itza site core developed during its earlier phase of occupation between 750 and 900 AD. Its final layout was developed after 900 AD, and the 10th century saw the rise of the city as a regional capital controlling the area from central Yucatan to the north coast, with its power extending down the east and west coasts of the peninsula. The earliest hieroglyphic date discovered at Chichen Itza is equivalent to 830 to AD, while the last known date was recorded in the Osario Temple in 998. The late Classic city was centered upon the area to the southwest of the extolic cenote, with the main architecture represented by the substructures now underlying the Las Monges and Observatorio and the basal platform upon which they were built.